What's up, y'all? So it has gotten really hot here in South Arkansas. It's about 95 degrees today. Fishing's really slow. So to me, that means time to do gear review videos, and I've been going back and forth and tweaking my latest build for about 6 months. So I think finally got it down to I'm about 95% happy with it. I feel like today's a good day to go ahead and intro that for y'all, show y'all what I've done. Mostly built this around my on the grid / light off the grid situation. So this is my kayak fishing, camping, improved campsites, almost glamping build, if you will. And the reason for that is because I have a kayak. I needed a different build. Like, so if you followed me for like the last 5 years, you know that I have slept in the bed of my truck, gone out west, and all over the country. But I've always slept inside like a little platform bed area. Well, I needed some place to store my kayak. And my Bonafide XTR130. Last year, kind of got fed up with pedaling and paddling and stuff, and I just was ready for a change in my fishing. So bought an outboard, a little electric outboard, NT300, which means I have batteries now. 36 volt battery for that. I got a trolling motor, which needs batteries. So my situation changed. Most of the off the grid stuff can still happen, but I needed something for the other 10 months out of the year. And this is what I've come up with. Did a lot of research, spent like 2 months going back and forth if I wanted like the slide in type of stuff, but those are kind of heavy for a Colorado. And then I did the lightweight, like go fast campers, kind of the same thing I have here with a little pop-up tent, but they're super expensive. They're not readily available in South Arkansas. You pretty much have to go back out west to pick one of those up. What was available was what I've got built here. So what you're gonna see, and I'm gonna walk through this all like slowly, but got a rooftop tent, river quiver for my fly rod needs, built some shelving inside so that I could load my boat in the bed, but I could also do my motors, trolling motor. My slide is the same slide that I used for my truck camping setup. It goes underneath my platform. And then I have some other stuff in the cab of my truck I'll show y'all. And we're just gonna quickly go through this. Won't spend a lot of time because it's super hot, and this is a really simple basic build. The beauty of this build is that I can do this, like the glamping kind of stuff, like go to Southeast Louisiana, redfish, stay in a state park, plug in the shore power, charge my batteries, keep my fridge going, refreeze water bottles. And then if I want to go out to Wyoming, Colorado and camp in grizzly country, all I gotta do is this little platform here just has 9 screws that go across. I can take the platform out, take the plywood out, take the cross members out, I can put my other platform back in there and drop that slide back down, or I can just take everything out, leave it as it is, and just camp in my tent if I go to Colorado or, you know, Bighorn Mountains or something like that. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'll show you everything I got built right now. So like I said, I did a whole lot of research trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do with my bedding situation, and eventually I landed on this Inspired Overland rooftop tent. Now this is like their lightweight. It weighs like 85 pounds or 80 pounds or something. Super easy to get on by myself. I put that up there all by myself. You just put one in on the back of the truck, and then you just push it up and then just bolt everything down. It comes off super easy. Now, of all the research I did, and I looked at tons of these, I wanted something lightweight because it has to go on top of my topper, and I don't have anything reinforced, didn't want to add anything to that. Also wanted something that I could sleep 2 people, and I just wanted like the no frills, like super basic. Take this off if I didn't want to use it. And the other thing was, it was like $1,000, and you can have those shipped to you for not a ton of money, or you can pick them up. They have tons of little places, like distributors, I guess, like Houston and some other places all across the country that you don't even have to pay for the shipping. So for $1,000, I thought this was the best alternative I had to sleeping inside the bed. Because in the summer down here, like even from like March on, when it's getting into the 80s and 90s, anything under the topper is just, you just can't cool off. Like it just stays hot all day. So the tent is a great option, fits my needs. It was, you know, like I said, easy to put on. I could sleep in it. It's a 50-inch mattress on the inside with like a 3-inch foam mattress, and I sleep on that comfortably. I think if you're probably taller than 6 foot and weigh more than like 225, you're gonna feel maybe the mattress a little bit when you turn, just because to keep it lightweight, they don't really have, and let me get to the other side so maybe you can see this better. Yeah. So to keep it lightweight, they don't really have a solid floor. So this is your mattress. It's like a little condensation barrier, and then on top of that's another mattress. But you just have the aluminum cross members here, and it bolts on here. Super easy. I'm not gonna do a review on that. There's a ton of rooftop tent, especially the Inspired Overland their lightweight rooftop tent because it's so popular. Tons of good reviews. Ultimately, that's why I went with it, because it was relatively inexpensive. More inexpensive than, say, buying a whole new pop-up camper rig or something like that, or even a trailer. I looked at some of those. And I'll talk about some of the improvements I'm going to do later in the video. But rooftop tent, super awesome. The next thing you're going to notice is the Riversmith rod locker. Now, I had a 4-banger to begin with, but it just won't fit. Like, you get 2 of these. It was, this other attachment was like right here. The other part didn't give you any room to unzip this. So this one, it locks up automatically when you open and close it, so you don't ever have to worry about if it's open or closed. But there is one thing that's super cool about this I want to point out. So, and it's also going to lead into the improvements. This is their quick attachment connect. I had the old style where you had to, like, it took me and my buddy Brad like an hour one time to get this thing off, my 4-banger, to get this one on, because it's like, I bought the hex that had the, like, the tooth in it to keep it, like, I was afraid somebody's going to steal it, and I was just being dumb. Nobody's going to fool with these things. They're too much trouble to get off, and now they're kind of like everywhere. But this one locks on. What I'm going to do, and I'm going to talk about the improvements I'm going to make, because right now I do fly fishing and conventional fishing. I don't really have a good way of storing a conventional rod when I'm on my road trips, which has become kind of noticeable. Like I said, I'll talk about it in just a minute. So let me dump this right here for half a second, and I'll show you the storage I have. So everything in here is all my camping stuff. I have my battery chargers in the very back, some cooking stuff. The important part about this is that you can't put anything back here that animals are going to be attracted to, because the bed stays open. So if you have raccoons or skunks or any other wild animals, you can't put anything back here that's going to attract them. I'm even kind of concerned sometimes with just my stove, but I haven't had any issues camping so far. I haven't had any raccoons or skunks or anything come around, so I'm not really worried about it. I haven't found any snakes back here like that, so I think it's a pretty good solution. This, like I said earlier, my slide, if it's here, it still goes under my platform. So if I ever want to use my platform and go back to my other setup, it's a super easy and quick to do. And this is what I've been camping for 3 days. I can run this setup. I have enough power between this and my cooler, and I have 2 36-volt electric batteries to run my electric outboard, and 2, if I wanted to, but a 50 amp hour battery for my trolling motor lasts 3 days, because I use about 15 to 16% when I'm running that. At 3 days, I need to go find some place to power up. Solar isn't really an option with all this battery need. You can keep your fridge charged and maybe some, you know, like your headlamp and things like that, like a 200-watt solar power. Something like that would probably keep up all that other stuff, but trying to charge a 36-volt battery, 12-volt battery, you really need short, you know, like power, which is what this build is all about. Like, this was me going to state parks, RV sites, things like that, like in Louisiana and, you know, the Ozarks and, you know, Washita Mountains, things like that. I've been all over Arkansas and South Louisiana and Louisiana fishing, camping, just plugging this thing in and going for 3 or 4 days in a row, and then going somewhere else and doing the same thing. It's been amazing. I love it. And I apologize if I'm talking super fast. I just do that. Plus, it's stupid hot. And this is another slide. I'm not gonna pull it all out, but I keep my trolling motor on top of this and my NT300, and I put it in. I wouldn't take this on a Forest Service road, just too much vibration and bouncing back and forth, but I'm rarely doing that right now. For the last, since January, all I've been is on improved paved sites, going to improved boat launches and fishing. It's just amazing. I'm loving it. So 36-volt battery for the back that runs the NT300. My other batteries and everything, they stay in the front, the hatch and the Bonafide, as well as a spare 36-volt battery when I need one. But I can also put it up here, slide it forward. I have a lot of space and a lot of storage in here, just the way this is laid out. So here, since the Bonafide is kind of tapered, I have a ton of stuff up front, like a jack, I have my water, my seat. I can put some other stuff up there. Same thing on the other side. Just stuff that, you know, fix a flat and things like that if you have to change a tire or you need other things, battery chargers, extension cords, just all kinds of random stuff. I would have to get the boat out to get to any of it, but it doesn't make it super complicated. Keep most of my fishing gear in this hatch here. Built so I don't have to take this out when I get someplace. Connected a long extension for the battery. So I plug that in, do the same thing. If I'm running my live scope, everything stays in that front hatch. I just pick it up. I have a whole other video on me loading and unloading this solo, which is why the plywood's up here. This right here isn't, what's the word I'm looking for? So hot, I can't even think anymore. This isn't wide enough, I guess, to run to keep my trolling motor on, or even connect it and throw it up there when it gets on. It catches about right here. So the other thing about this build that I made an improvement on, because I wanted to be able to spend like weeks away, maybe months, because I love going out for months at a time. So this is their APL55 quart ICECO fridge freezer. I have been testing this and running this for the last 6 months, taking on some different trips, camping with it, whatnot. I can tell you, I can run this 3 days in the shade without having to power it up. Now, I have it connected to a 12-volt battery. It goes behind my seat here, makes it super convenient. Everything's on this side. This is my 12-volt accessory that I connect to the battery and connect this in. Now, when I'm driving, I connect this in to my truck through the accessory port. The only thing is this is so big and this Colorado backseat is so tiny, I couldn't make it work. It blocks the plug here, so I have to run it to the front one, which is not a big deal, but just something to keep in mind. I'm going to go ahead and open this up and show you everything, but I wanted to point out, you got a DC connection here, which is what I have connected. You have an AC, then you have 2 USB ports on this side, and I'll go to the other side. You have another DC and another USB port on the other side, and I'll show you that. But from here, you have some places to lock. You have place to tie it down. Same thing here. You have a handle. These robust hinges keep anything from falling out. What is cool about this, lights up on the inside so you can see. Now I have it separated with the freezer compartment on the far side. What I do on these hot trips, I just freeze a bunch of water. That way I can have frozen water. I was in southeast Louisiana last week, red fishing. I stayed in a hotel, or really like a motel. But the micro fridge isn't big enough to refreeze anything. You put like an ice cube in there or an ice box, freeze some ice cubes, or you can put some frozen meals, which is what I brought with me. But for here, I turned this thing into a freezer and I refroze all my water. Now it takes a full day, just about like 19 hours to refreeze water, because it raises, you know, coming out of the faucet, it gets up to like 70 degrees and this drops down to like -4. So the trade-off is cooler raises up to about 40 degrees and then it takes most of the day to cool back down. So if you have like 2 days worth of frozen water, you take half of it with you, come back the next day, refreeze those while you're out fishing, and then you bring back and then you just kind of recycle through it. It's super helpful to do that. I like having a little bit of frozen water. You can stop and get ice, not a big deal. Only problem is you can't drink the ice water, so you're just lugging around a bunch of water at the end of the day. And I put my soft side cooler in the front hatch with my spare battery last time. So I don't really want a lot of water just sloshing around in there. My soft side cooler, the lid doesn't close, so I just throw it in there, but it compresses so it stays out of the way. So this side right here is the refrigerator side, and you'll notice the lid is the kind that won't slam on your fingers. That's kind of nice. Got a little divider. This is the frozen side. This is my refrigeration side. I just basically got it filled up with stuff to show y'all for the review, but it carries a ton. That's 2 people worth of area in there, like sandwich meat, chicken. I wanted something that could freeze food, freeze meals, freeze leftover food, and keep it for like weeks at a time. And in this, I told y'all I kept this for 3 days running. The power for that, so y'all know, because the last time I did this, I had a crazy number. I had like 44 degrees or something, and the professional chef was like, dude, you're gonna kill yourself. You have to set that thing low. So I ran it for the latest test, which I was doing a couple days ago, just to make sure this was still accurate and this thing was still running as good as it was when I first got it. Put it on 37 for the refrigeration side, put it on 26 for the frozen side, and it's been back here for 2 days, just kind of goofing off, like I said, just playing with it, and everything's still frozen. You can get anything out of here you want. I got a 2-liter bottle back here frozen, a couple of those. It's nice. It's pretty awesome. You got vents, locks up. You got a light. You got a blue light if you want blue light. Might not show up very well right now. Let's see if I can get the blue. There's the blue one. Okay, you got blue light for if you want blue light. Does all kinds of crazy things. You can change the settings here, so you can change the refrigeration side, the ice side. The other thing the ICECO has is Bluetooth. So right here, hopefully y'all can see that. We'll get connected. Now, if you don't connect within like a couple weeks, like if you're not on your phone, you're not using this very often, it will log you out. You do have to create an account with password and a username and all that. and then log back in. But there we go, popped up. So this is the left zone, 37 degrees. Right zone up here, same thing. You can control the temperatures. Then you go down here, you can turn it on and off. You can change the refrigeration straight to freezer. That will drop it to the lowest setting, which is -4. I have it on max right now, just because I want it to be cool. And then you have some other settings here that, you know, you can change it to Fahrenheit, you can do Celsius, got battery protection. I have mine on low because my AC ports, they just die anyway. And I have this on a 12-volt battery that's not connected to my truck, so I'm not really worried about that. But that's super cool. I have a Lifetime 12-volt. I use Lifetime for my 36-volt batteries, for my NT300, the outboard. Also use it for, I have two 12-volt batteries that I run my trolling motor with. Bluetooth on these. Somebody asked me one time if I would recommend Bluetooth, and I absolutely would. So I've shown this app in a different video, but it's super helpful. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Same thing, got to create an account, log in, all that good stuff. If you haven't logged in for a while, it will log you out. Solid. The other one I have is like a plastic. I've put stuff on top of it. It's been kind of scratches up a little bit, but it's a cooler and it's going to take a little abuse. I had to take off these two bumpers on the far side to get it to fit. When I'm camping, I put all of my food and clothing back here. Most of these are short trips, but here is the other two USB ports and your DC connection, so you can run, depending on where your setup is, you can do it. Solid handles for tying things down, solid hinges. Like I said, I took the bumper off both sides to get this to slide. You can see it's a snug fit, and it blocks pretty much. I have a couple ports here, but my accessory bat is connection is behind this, and I can't get to that, so not a big deal. Improvements. So the biggest improvement that I need to make is right here. I keep all my rods inside the truck. It kills my storage. Like, I don't have any storage right here, floor or seat. This would be a whole other spot that I could carry more bedding, jackets, more fishing tackle, just anything that I needed to make this work. So I have gone ahead and purchased like the 6-inch PVC conduit carrier thing that you've probably seen on YouTube a dozen times. I'm gonna make one of those. I don't know that I can get it on top of here. My first idea was like to put it on top of this and like bolt it to that. That's probably a bad idea. I don't know how sturdy their rod locker or the river quiver is. I'm afraid I'll probably tear that up. The great thing about this is that quick disconnect. I can take this off, put that on there, which gets me to my second improvement, which is probably the one I probably should have gone with to begin with. But like I said, I was kind of doing this on the cheap, and I didn't necessarily think this entirely through. So Inspired Overland, that's their lightweight extra large rooftop tent. They make a carbon fiber, or we'll just call it a hard top, because I can't remember if it's the exact wording for it, but they have a hard top. Well, the hard top has rails on the sides, so you can put a gear track across. Well, that'd be amazing, because I could put my river quiver up there. I have a 200-watt solar panel that I want to put up. That would run my fridge all day long and any other charges I want, and never have to worry about replacing batteries and pulling batteries. I have portable solar right now that it takes, in one day I can charge it up 20% if I'm not paying attention to it. And I did a review, I'll link that in the description. But if I'm doing out there like camping and I'm able to move it and stay in the shade, the reason I like portable is because I can keep my truck in the shade, and I can take my batteries and my solar panels and move those around and chase the sun and keep my truck cool. And that is the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you got any questions, let me know. Again, I know I talk fast. It's hot. It's just what I do. But I appreciate you watching, for real. That's it.